Fire Force Season 1 is a ton of fun. No spoilers in this video, but I will say this. Stick with it for a while. It really ramps up toward the end of the season. But with that out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Fire Force follows the missions of Shinra Kusakabe, a member of the 8th Company of the Imperial Japanese Fire Force, a group of combat specialists who kill infernals, normal people who have spontaneously combusted and are now a threat to everyone around them. From there, the 8th Company works to discover the mystery behind human combustion and the origin of their pyrokinetic abilities and society. Right off the bat, the premise is actually very similar to Full Metal Alchemist, in the same way that Boku no Hero Academia and Black Clover are similar to Naruto. It's all about uncovering the mysteries of this world, its rich lore, and our main character is right at the center of all of it. The world, history, and all of the mysteries of the Fire Force are really cool. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say this. There are religious, scientific, and governmental forces all at play that create this feeling of a vast conspiracy. We only really get a tiny peek at the truth of this whole big story, which causes this genuine intrigue that grips you and it makes you want to keep watching, especially the cosmic angle. There's always this feeling that there is some higher power or maybe like a deity of some kind meddling in this world of mortals, which I cannot wait to learn more about. Now, the art style can be really creepy at times to reflect these themes of like this gothic Tim Burton style that really drives home some of the cosmic horror. It's super cool. But I should say it's not just cosmic horror. The story takes place in the future with some advanced technology that's also sort of steampunk, so if you like that, you'll probably like this. The characters actually use technology in conjunction with their powers in really cool ways. I appreciate that. You usually don't see that in shonen. Actually, the powers are a ton of fun too. Every single powered character is a pyrokinetic, and at first I thought that would be boring. But you'd be surprised at the variety you can squeeze from that one single ability. Especially later in the season, their powers get really, really crazy. It's awesome. The fights are super fun. The main character, Shinra, has this fighting style based primarily on kicking that involves flying around and actually breakdancing. It's really cool and visually stunning. The choreography is seriously awesome. You only have to watch the first episode to see what I mean by that. Also, the whole cast of characters is very fun. My favorite is Arthur, who legitimately believes he's a medieval knight, but he's also a complete dumbass. He's so funny, I love him to death. One thing I will say, the fan service is sort of ridiculous in this show. The most dramatic scenes will be interrupted just so a girl's clothes can all burn off. I know it's normal for a shonen to do this sort of thing, but it's really cranked up to 11 in this show. Just a fair warning. Speaking of that, this show is not afraid to interject comedy into the drama either. For as dark as the subject matter can be, there are a ton of jokes in this anime. Some of it falls flat, like it normally does, but I did have some pretty hearty laughs during my watch through. The dialogue, on the other hand, can be pretty clunky sometimes. Usually it's not an issue, but there are one or two arcs where the exposition is just painful. Characters explaining their backstories to each other, even though they both already know it, like that sort of thing. It's just, if you could tweak it just a little bit, it would be much better. On top of that, the animation for the action is usually gorgeous, like stunning, but there are a lot of still shots during certain scenes where characters are talking, obviously to save on animation budget and time. Like I said, usually it's not an issue, but there have been once or twice where the screen literally does not change for an entire minute at a time. Ultimately, I really enjoyed Fire Force, and I'll be watching Season 2. It's certainly not the best that shonen has to offer, but I appreciate this more mystery and lore focused series as opposed to a combat heavy narrative. If that sounds good to you, definitely give Fire Force a watch. I've been Beware. This is What Wears Watchin'. Stay frosty.